Father, we, together as a church, we ask and we receive that with clarity into your word, that you speak to our hearts and our minds, and you give us that we see Jesus in the light of the scriptures, and in our lives, that he is glorified there, and we are edified in the same. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, let's get into God's word today. I want to have a very, very brief conversation with you. I'm hoping that it's as brief as I think. Are we glad to be here? All right. So as brief as we can have it. I don't know how we're going to talk about. I didn't come with my notebook because I have what I wanted to teach. And it's the same thing I'm going to teach you though, but I'm just wondering, maybe I should maybe we'll find out how to put it together, even though I know what I want to teach you. All right? Now I want you to pay attention very well to the things that you are here on earth to do. Are you here with me? Pay very much attention to the things that are here for you to do here on earth. And all of them need to be handled with care. A lot of care. Every little thing that you find yourself being in charge of or being responsible for is a stewardship God puts in your hands. Are you here with me? God puts things where? In your hands. And he trusts you with it. That's what we call trust. When you trust something, you trust somebody, you're actually trusting something in their hands. That is, if it's in their hands, you believe it will go well. You have a strong hope and faith that it will go well in their hands. Anytime someone puts something in your hands, it's called trust. That's what trust is. You don't trust people and then there's nothing. Do you understand? Yes, you don't trust people and there's nothing. You trust people and then there's something that you put in their hands. That's what it means trust. So we entrust things into people's hands. And so the things that God wants you to do, the things that you find yourself responsible for, they are things of trust. Do you get me? They are things of what? Trust. If you have children, that is God trusting people's lives into your hands. If you get married, that is God trusting someone else into your hands. Are you hearing me? If you are a pastor like myself, which you should aspire to be and work towards becoming, God is entrusting people into what? Your hands. Because God doesn't come to this earth bodily to come and take care of the people. So he further entrusts them into people's hands. In the country, we vote for a president, but God's ordinance is that someone should be the leader to whom he can trust the people into his hands. So it's trust upon trust into trust, and it's all trust around us. Will the people make some mistakes? For sure, because they are human beings. But does God trust them to be able to come out of it and still push on till they've done all that is required of them? Certainly. Are you here with me? God trusts that the people to whom he has entrusted other things or other people are going to be strong enough to be able to do what? To come out of their own struggles and hold people up. Do you understand? God entrusts things into your hands. You see, you have to be very careful with life. It's not fearful, careful, no. Careful in the sense that things are fragile. People are fragile. Lives are fragile. Destinies are fragile. Are you following this? People can easily derail from what God wants them to do. And so if God entrusts people into your hands, what God is saying is as simple as this, that I believe you can handle your own and handle them also. What happens to us is most of the time, we see the person who stands in front and then we feel like he's the only one who gets to stand in front. Because all we see is standing in front. But standing in front is what happens on Sunday from 10 to 12. Or on Tuesday from 6 to somewhere 9. The other times when nobody has to stand in front, what actually happens to the one who usually stands in front? It has to do with handling actual people. Do you understand? Handling actual people. Because God has entrusted into that person's hands. Do you understand this? Yes. The next thing you can do is to take very good care of the few things that have been entrusted into your hands. Even your life is an entrustment. Do you know that? Yes. You can choose not to make anything out of it. You can choose to make something out of it. Your life. That long life that you want. When you want to die, when you are sick, you want to start praying, God save me. The question is, so that what? When you are now out of the sick bed, so that what? What will you be doing? Is it so that you can go on and misuse it? Because it's an entrustment. Someone has entrusted something into your hands. Do you understand? Yes. That is why we pray. Teach us to number our days, because that days is entrusted. We don't own it. They were given to us. Do you understand? When you wake up a day, that's 24 hours God entrusted into your hands. What are you going to do with it? Misused, wasted, thrown about 24 hours. It's 24 hours of no accountability. What are you going to do with what is in your hands? Do you understand? What are you going to do with what is in your hands? God has entrusted something into all of us, our hands. If you can recall very well, you see that after every stage, God entrusted something. That's how God lives with men. He trusts men. He gives them things He wants to give them. They also respond, and then they do likewise. Do you understand? Yes. Paul says that there's nothing that you have that was not given. Right? There's nothing that you have that was not given. Everything that you have as a human being, not as a Christian, even as a human being. And of course, those who are not born again will now later find out who gave it to them. Right? But they've not found out. But doesn't mean things were not given to them. Things were given to them. Things were given to them. Things were given to them. Even opportunities are given to you. Opportunities are given to you. What do you make out of them? Opportunities. I have an opportunity to do this. I have a privilege to be here. I was able to meet so and so people. What did I use it for? It's a question you need to ask yourself. What did I use it for? I have an opportunity to learn this. How did I use it? Did I sleep through the time? What did I do? Are you hearing me? Yes. God entrusts things into our hands. Are you beginning to think of some entrustments? Some things that He entrusts into your hands. Are you beginning to think about some of them? Yes. He entrusts wonderful things into our hands. Sometimes we don't see how wonderful they are until it's very late. Then we realize, this was an entrustment. Somebody gave me this to take care of it. And people who cannot handle little, the same don't receive much. That's why Jesus will go on to say, to whom much is given, much is expected. But before he said that, he said, if you are faithful with the little things that were put in your hands, more will be added. More will be added. It's an entrustment. God puts things in your hands. Say, God has put some things in my hands. You have to open your eyes to see that I have this in my hands. Some people have their family in their hands. They don't know. You might be the youngest, but you have their family. In the terms of spiritual guidance, sometimes it depends. I've seen a Muslim got born again, and the whole family's salvation was in her hands, and she was young. The whole family is born again. Life was in her hands. She had to bring it to pass. We have to get born again, but she's young. You see, God is kind of interesting because sometimes he entrusts things into people's hands. When you look at the people, you're wondering, God, why are you entrusting? Is it not punishment? Because sometimes the person is not even bold enough. And God wants the person to grow into it. Do you understand? He'll grow into it. That's what it is. He'll grow into it. By the time Jesus is telling Peter, the devil has sought to sift you as wheat. That was just some few days ago. He was busy betraying Jesus. The guy couldn't even handle being pointed as a disciple of Jesus. He couldn't handle that. You are now bringing devil on top. And the devil is not coming into play. He's coming to sift. You know how to sift wheat? Do you know what sifting is? The devil is seeking you to sift you as wheat. I know when you hear Peter, you say, mighty man, Peter. Oh boy, the guy was going to be sifted as wheat. Do you know what Jesus said? When you overcome, strengthen your brethren. The brethren didn't strengthen him. He was going to be sifted as wheat. The brethren were not informed. Neither were they around to strengthen him. When he finished facing his own sifting squarely, he's supposed to now go and help other people to get out of their own sifting. Why should everybody should face their own, Abi? No be so. Everybody should face their own. Why? Because Jesus told him, feed my lambs. That's entrustment. God had entrusted his people into his hands. And because of that, he has to overcome his own and go and strengthen the rest. So God entrusts things and people and places and events and things into your hands. It doesn't mean that there are no realities of issues in your own life. It only means that God trusts you. That's what it is. Without going far to explain to you how beautiful and how wonderful for God, nobody, God, to trust you, a man. Do I need to explain that, Seth? For God, the one who can create and uncreate things, to say, you handle this. For God to stand back and not act because he knows he has put you in charge, and be confident that you will come around. Because there are times God is just waiting for you to come around. You see that the thing is not solved, and God is saying, now we are waiting for you. We are waiting for you. We are waiting for you. For me to explain that magnitude to you, that God can feel like you, the human being with limits. Before you came to church, you had to join a car. God doesn't join cars. All he needs to do is to be there. Just by intention. Are you following what I'm saying? He doesn't have to move. So why is he entrusting you to go and take care of something that you have to move to that place? When you move to that place, wherever you were before, you are no longer there. Whatever is happening there, are you in charge? No. And God trusts this kind of person who is limited. And God says, I trust you. He looks at your face there and says, I trust you. Sometimes he's trusting you with 20 people. The 20 people, they all have different issues. Have you realized that you all don't have the same issue, Abby? You don't have the same issue. Somebody is suffering from mastitis. Somebody's one is coccidiosis. The other one is night blindness. Everybody's own is different. So it's not one size fits all. It's not like you just wake up one morning then, Let me tell you, what I'm doing now, I'm teaching you, all of you together. It's not solving your individual problems. All of you know. It can be maybe this instruction for general life as a Christian, a believer. Then there are actual issues which this one doesn't fit. You have to solve it. Different one, everybody. Somebody is seeing antelopes in their dream. It's an issue. Somebody saw someone whip them with a fallopian tube. That's their issue. Everybody comes with their own issue. All manner. All manner. Then God says, when you have overcome, nobody is here when I'm overcoming, Abi. He didn't add anybody to the overcoming. He said, when you have overcome, that means on your own, overcome. When you finish, your brethren need strengthening. Don't I need strengthening now? The strengthening they need, don't I need some? But what does that mean? It means God trusts you. That's what it means. God trusts you. He trusts you in such a way that he thinks and believes and hopes that you can behave close enough to what he is on earth. He believes. He believes that you have a spirit. He believes that you have it together. You figure it out. He has that faith in you. Imagine God having faith in somebody. God said concerning Abraham, I know him. I know him. He will instruct his household after me. Imagine. God trusts somebody like that. He knows Abraham. Before Abraham will make mistake or anything, he had already told Abraham, your seed shall be as numerous as the stars are in the skies, so shall they be uncountable. Before, he's not even seen how you handle two people. He has not had anybody. Then people come and he starts to handle them. And he said, I know him. I know him. What manner of trust? What manner of trust? Are you here with me? Yes. By the time Jesus is calling Peter, it's a similar level of trust. He's calling Peter. He said, Peter, feed my sheep. Feed my lambs. Then he says, when you have overcome. That means he trusts Peter to be able to overcome by himself. Right? Peter can overcome by himself. But then he knows the other people need help. So he said, when you are overcome, strengthen your brethren. That means the brethren need strengthening. That means the brethren are being entrusted into whose hand again? Peter. Do you understand? Yes. So there are things that are entrusted into your hands. There are things that are entrusted. Don't think that there is nothing in your hands. The way you are going will show whether you have the consciousness of things entrusted into your hands or not. Did you get it? Yes. The way you are moving will show whether you are conscious of things being entrusted in your hands or not. People who have nothing in their hands, when they wake up in the morning, they just move. Just get some watching at the joint and that's all. The rest is friends and vibes and chill. This early morning, it's Sunday morning. The way your mind will judge you when you don't go to church, right? Someone is busily doing nothing. Busily, just doing nothing. He's actively in the nothingness. He's not lazy about it. No, he's active in nothingness. He's very active in it. If you ask the person, he can give you a full scratchy explanation of why he shouldn't do anything today. So yesterday I washed, the whole week, I was on morning and evening shift. And on Saturday I washed. After washing, I had to go and see my family. I had to go and cook for them. My father, he eats some special kinds of food. My mom is also very weak, can't cook the food and all that. And so by the time you finish, we can act a movie, part 1 to 6. With the script that she has provided, we can have a movie, a whole movie, series itself. Because nothing has been entrusted. So it doesn't feel it. God expects you to do all that. When you are done, He expects you to handle what He has put in your hands very well. When you are overcome, strengthen your brethren. He expects you like that. Only the people I'm about to talk to you today about, they are the ones who know how to handle this. Are you here with me? Yes, it's not everybody. Everybody should, but not everybody gets to figure it out. Not everybody gets to figure it out. Because there are many excuses sometimes. Many excuses. Many loopholes. Many loopholes. Yesterday in prayer, I asked a question. While we were praying here, those of you who were here, you remember. I asked a question. There's a question that was passed to me by God. I also passed it to you. I said, if everybody left you alone, nobody was around, would you still stand in the service of God? If nobody was waking you up, calling you, chasing you, reminding you, encouraging you, because none of us, the kind of encouragement we need is a novel. Somebody must write a novel of encouragement for us to read. The encouragement, oh boy, if something happens in someone's life, sometimes I can even be encouraged and I'll be asking, did I even need this kind of encouragement? It's like this kind of it's becoming unbecoming. The person needs encouragement to the extent that I can write books for ages to come and read and learn wisdom from. Small thing happen. Encouragement so from morning to afternoon. In the evening, we'll continue until the midnight, somewhere. No sleep, encouragement. Series of it. You see, gather yourself up. Your life is not over. It's not over. Do you know what we are talking about? Do you know what we are talking about? Your life is not over. Do you know what we are talking about? One brother, Jakusko, said he's not doing again. He said he's not doing again. That's how we have to be convincing Sister Shenene. Your life is not over. Your life is not over. It will be well. God will bring you a better person. Omo. If you know the size and weight of life, you handle what has been given you every time as an opportunity. I'm telling you. When I see people mess up with things that God has entrusted in their hands, so I wonder, is it that they don't really look around for examples? Because if you look around for examples, you realize the opportunity you have. Opportunity. 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 You have an opportunity. Don't be the guy we have to sing love songs to because he's out of energy and conviction. Brother, God is going to make you great. Sometimes even all those, they are not prophecy. It's enticing words of mass wisdom. We have to entice you because the place you are at, if we don't entice you, tomorrow morning will be obituary. It will be obituary of the ministry, not your life. Of the ministry, you will just kill the ministry in your life like this. Because sometimes you realize that people emphasize on certain things. Emphasize. If your husband is Isaiah and he says he's going to preach naked for 20 years on the street, that's your husband. Your children are in the room. He's not going to tell the children, he's going to tell you, the wife. As the wife. When you look at the children and the reputation of it's not 2 days, 20 years. 20 years. Even if you don't develop smartphone, they'll develop it. 20 years. They'll develop smartphones. On top of that one, they'll develop smartphones. They'll have pictures. Your husband said, God said I should go and preach naked. He said, which year God is that? I'm going to see somewhere, Joe. Now, Amadioha, they call you. They can't tell me, say, Jehovah. Which one is Jehovah? Amadioha. Because your mind cannot take it. But you see, now nobody here is going to preach naked. Nobody. So those are assuming anything. Yes, that's not what is coming. But the point is, something was entrusted into some people's hands. And those people took it by the strap of the neck. So this is entrusted into my hands. They took it. And they executed it perfectly. God has trusted men from the beginning till now. He still trusts men. Will you be that man? Do you understand my question? Will you be that man? Or is it that when everybody, if you wake up one day and you find out that me, I'm no longer preaching, will you stop preaching? Did you hear the question? Will you stop preaching because I have stopped? Will you stop? It's easy to say no, sir. Some of the questions, unless reality drops, that's where we can answer. Whether the question you answered the last time, is that the actual answer? When the people who hold you, you see the kind of trouble you have that people have to be convincing you, encouraging you, holding you up. When all the holders, convincers, have dropped, what will you do? What will you do? I'm telling you, up to today, nobody has convinced me to do ministry. Nobody has spoken to me. I'm trying to find out where somebody sat me and said, you know, it is well. God has a plan. Nobody told me that before. When you have overcome on your own. Nobody, I'm talking about from community to Komanana up to today. Even my father, he's a bishop. He never sat me down and then he encouraged me into ministry. No, means I was more charged than him. I was more charged than him. Because if everybody drops, who am I looking for to come and encourage me so that I can stand? And I'm not speaking only about ministry. I'm speaking about all entrustments that God puts in your hands. The way you are handling it. On your own, the way you're handling it. If you find out that all the people that you even looked up to, they were not handling it well, will you drop yours? Because, you know, what I'm saying, you know it's true, right? Even these people are doing, even the pastors, look at what they are doing. That's the way we console ourselves. Even the pastors, look at them. Are these not the pastors? Are these not the macro presidents and all that? Look at the way they are behaving. How much more? Shut up. Your life is not a how much more. What has God entrusted into your hands? Are you going to be faithful with it? That's all. It's not look at all this, look at all that. That's not the question. That's not it. It's not about look at all that. No. Because you see, when we stand before God, it's you 1 to 1. It's not the whole congregation. It's going to be you 1 and then God 1. That talk, there's nothing like you even ask this person. No, there's nothing like that. There's nothing like even ask this brother. There's nothing. It's going to be how sincere, how faithful you have been with what was trusted into your hands. That's all. An opportunity to be in school is an entrustment. Are you following what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying? It's an entrustment. There are people who didn't go to school, right? So God trusted, I'm going to give this guy the opportunity. He's going to make something out of it. He's going to make something out of it. He's going to make something out of it. So God gives you that as an opportunity for you to show whether you are worthy of more to be entrusted. Did you get it? Yes. Your life from the young times, the small things that you were entrusted with, class prefect, this, that, they are tests of whether you can be trusted with many things. Don't think God didn't see all of that because it wasn't in church. No, God is seeing everything and He's marking that. Are you growing to the form I want to put you in? God has a plan. Are you here with me? God has a plan. Don't think that your life is just being run. Your life is not just being run. You're not a cartoon. You're a human being. God took time to put you in where you are. The circumstances you are in, it is not a problem for God. Are you hearing me? It is you that is thinking plenty. Hey, God, and why me? Why me? Why not you? Why should we give it to the other person you are thinking you should give it to? The situation you are in, you should give it to someone else, Abi. Why him too? If not you, why him? It's better be you. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Yes. It's better be you. Then you will now show yourself who you truly are. You see, adversities make men. Trouble brings out true men. Trouble brings out proper men. True men are built in trouble. Yes. What was Solomon doing without war? He was busy having wives. Just wives. So he himself became a wife. He didn't know how to fight. There's nothing like that. There's a man. He's a man. He wasn't a man. He was just enjoy himself. So wake up and feel cool. All the women were just around. Then he started writing poems. Not be ladies, they write poems now. Not be ladies. Songs of songs. Is that not women's job now? To write poems. Come up with sweet melodies, lullabies, rhythms, nursery rhymes. A lion has a tail. Things like that. No fight. The guy was not fighting. That's all. He was just there. He was just there. He didn't no fight. No fight. He wasn't fighting for anybody. He used his wisdom to win the battle. So he didn't fight. He wasn't fighting. So his wisdom was amassing women until he became an idol worshiper. Started worshiping the idols that came with the women. Every woman that came in came with an idol. And he was building temples for all of them and their idols. You know, in his mind, he was not worshiping the idols. His wives had the idols. So he was just building temples for them and their idols, temple for them and their idols, temple for them and their idols. In totality, he had more temples for idols of various kinds than temples for his own God. Even though his God is just one, and he built one temple, and it was big and rich, but he had more resources for building temples for idols all around. 1,000 women. How many idols do you think he built temple for? If it was God's church, he would have had many branches by now. They would have spread. It would have been a mega church, you see. But no. Various denominations came out of it. Israel was entrusted into his hands. He further took women because he was relaxed. There was nothing to do. There was nothing to do. There was peace on every side. Have you? Peace. That's why the Bible says that, woe unto you when you say peace and safety. Peace and safety. Woe. Unto them that cry peace and safety. Sudden destruction will come unto you like a thief. That's why he says, sudden destruction, just come. Just show up. You are not prepared. The reason you are not prepared is because too much peace and safety. Are you here with me? That's why I trust the leading of God. I believe that even when you feel like you are safe, and it's good, then God prompts you. He keeps you safe by prompting you. Watch out for this. So by the time it shows up, you have the good attitude to handle it. So your safety is still preserved, but you are just cautious. You know what's going to happen. Am I speaking with you? Yes. What's in your hands? What's in your hands? Take a minute, just pray. God, show me what's in my hands that I need to handle very well. Just take a minute, just pray. What's in my hands? Just ask God. Let me see clearly what's in my hands that I need to handle well. Just let me know. Open my eyes to see. Open my eyes to identify the things that are in my hands. The things I'm required to handle with care. Sebreho no kelevenos watala maleke vezize shendo koprono swapale. All right. Now sit down. Look at Daniel chapter 12. Hos neje keveli hadis komohosha. Prondo soch keveli koprokte kelevianosa. Look at Daniel 12. I'm going to show you Daniel 12 in a bit. But I want you to pay attention. See, life is bigger than just you. Did you get the point? Life is bigger than just you. It's bigger than just you. Everybody that thinks just you, see, when you are entering into a relationship. Nowadays, I see that a lot. I think I see a lot of videos. And no matter how you talk to people, people still are foolish. No, it doesn't matter. Even in church, people are still foolish. It doesn't matter. People still show you that they've still not grown up. Sometimes you'll be shocked. Listen, have you seen, I don't know, maybe you have seen something for me. I've seen quite a lot. And I've seen in real life. I've seen it in all these circulating things. But I've also seen it in real life. A lady is asked, what are your choice of a good man, like what makes a good man for you? Someone who will care for me, someone who will listen to me, someone who will help me with my business. Me. Sometimes I'm wondering, is that all there is? Just you? And I see two of you, I'm wondering, is it like a plague or something? Because it's like everybody seems to sound that way. And even some people who don't say it. When you go and find out, you find out they are telling somebody that. I just want someone who listen to me. What are you saying that we should listen to? What are you saying? What are you saying? Are you a podcast or something? What are you saying? Someone will listen to me, care for me, hear me. Are you a sound system? Me. Your whole life is you. Then you find out it's not special. They say just me. Just me. Then you flip it, then you find a foolish guy who also believes the same thing. If you're a foolish guy, he just believes the same thing. Just me. There are guys who just show up only for sex. That's all. Sex, then their mind evaporates. The realities of life, no. Just evaporate. That's also a me. Guys don't talk plenty, so it's just a me without saying it's actions. Actions of me. I'm just wondering, how is your life so limited? How is your life so limited? It's just you and nothing else. Life is bigger than just you. Are you hearing me? It's bigger than just you. I'm not saying you are not in it. If you know a little bit of English, I said it's bigger than just you. It's bigger. Are you hearing what I'm saying? It's bigger than just you. The things that are put into your hands. Imagine that God is telling Peter, when you are overcome, he didn't say we'll sing praises. He said, when you are overcome, strengthen your brethren. That means the issue is really bigger than you. You finish yours, but you don't rest from there. You get what I'm saying? Some people, they just make money and they sleep. See that rich man that Jesus called a fool, and he says your life will be taken from you. Do you know why God is going to take their life? It's not because he has a lot of money. Don't misunderstand God. God doesn't have a problem with a lot of money. God has a problem with somebody who has a lot of money without purpose. He has a lot of money, his brain is not thinking. So he just thinks that it's just about that. Imagine that somebody had gathered a lot of money. He said, my hand has worked this. God still didn't have a problem. Your hand has worked it. Not be lie now. Those who slept, they didn't have this money. So your hand has worked it. Fine. He said, henceforth, I will eat and make merry, and my soul shall rejoice. That's all. That's all. The money you gathered, I'll eat and make merry, and my soul shall rejoice. That's all. Jesus is a fool. The reason why he's a fool is somebody who has money without purpose. Things have been entrusted into his hands, but he has no purpose. He has no purpose. He has no purpose for it. He has no purpose for it. He thought it was just about him. He just make money. The first thing that came to his mind, I'll eat and make merry, and then I'll rejoice. Rejoice. Only him. That's all that came to his mind. Because a fool. Your life is of no use to me. I will take it from you. Then we'll see who will eat and make merry. We'll see who will eat and make merry and rejoice. We'll see it. Because you have to know the things you have. They are an entrustment. God put it in your hands for something. I hope you are listening to me. Yes. God put it there for something. What am I going to use it for? Who are the people that are in my life I need to take care of? I need to pay attention to. Your pastor mustn't have to struggle plenty for you to do the right thing. No. Especially when things are entrusted or people are entrusted into your hands. We don't have to fight with you. So that you wake up to it. No. They have been entrusted into your hands. Take that responsibility. God trusted you. Do you understand? Yes, he put them in your hands. He trusted you. He trusted you, not other people. You. Take some responsibility. Are you here with me? Take some responsibility. I told you, nobody has encouraged me before. This day I'm tired. Nobody has encouraged me before. Nobody has sat me down. Brother, don't give up. Don't give up now. God has a plan. Your future is bright. God is opening my eyes. I'm seeing you on the street. I'm seeing you with cars. Nobody has encouraged me before. He said, and David encouraged himself in the Lord. Himself. He encouraged himself in the Lord. Himself. Nobody was there to encourage him. In fact, the reason why he encouraged himself in the Lord is that everybody was screaming at him. Because they were screaming because there was trouble and they wanted him to act. They didn't encourage him. You, if you didn't sweep here, I said, why did you sweep here? Pastor, calm down now. Be more accommodating. Be more accommodating. Encourage me. You see, I'm not doing it better, but encourage me. Who is encouraging me? Not only you need encouragement. Go and see somewhere, Joe. Encourage me. Encourage me. Encourage me. Are you a box of encouragement? We should keep all our encouragement inside you. For future use or what? Encourage me. Only you. Every time. I should encourage you. Can't you just wake up one day and feel a sense of responsibility? One day you should wake up and feel a sense of responsibility. Are you here with me? Just wake up and feel a sense of responsibility. A sense of responsibility. Responsibility. Some people don't have responsibility. It's just leisure. They just want to enjoy. They just want to enjoy. I was watching a movie some time ago. This married couple were in the room. The husband busily wanted to have sex. The children were knocking the door that they were hungry. The husband said they should go and sleep. The wife said, I cannot be the only parent. I think that statement was very emphatic on my mind. He said, I cannot be the only parent. Because you didn't care that they were hungry. That's no sense of responsibility. You thought it was just about you. So how you are going to feel good is what you are thinking about. The children are hungry. That is responsibility calling. Somebody ought to respond to responsibility. Of course, there's a respond there. You ought to respond. It's entrusted into your hands. Respond. The children are an entrustment. Respond. That's what it is. You can't be buried in your head. No. Me. Care for me. Buy for me. Do this for me. Me. Until we put our eyes in your eyes like this. Your hands in your eyes. Go, you are too mean. You are too mean. Me. When you see people that all like that, they've not woken up to life. Me. Let me show you this. God is interested. The way he makes the world. The people who are more important in this world, whether you like it or not, there are people who live for others, whether Christian or not. The people you celebrate, why do you celebrate them? Because they are selfish? Especially any career field, I'll show you. The most significant people are people who did things that blessed you. That's why you love them. I'm not talking about Christians. I'm talking about anybody. Any field. That's how God natured humankind. We need help. And people need to be selfless for us to be okay. People need to be selfless. Somebody needs to be selfless somewhere. Somebody needs to think about other people for us to be fine. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes. Bill Gates is rich because when they were busy building big computers for companies, he thought about computers for human beings, normal human beings to use. He became rich for that. But I don't think that that's what he started with. I want to become rich. I don't think that's what I thought he was just thinking about people. That's all. The first thing was, why don't we make this able for other people to use it and be blessed? You celebrate him. You celebrate Facebook. Because somebody started something to just connect people. That was all it was until it became a worldwide phenomenon. That's all. It was not money-making machine. It was, let's connect people. That's how it began. Somebody felt the responsibility of taking care of other people in a certain way. Such that today, when your phone gets lost, when you pick your new phone, you can go to Facebook and still find all your friends and family, Abby. At first, when your phone gets lost and you have traveled, you are finished. When you buy a new phone, you are what? Finished. There's no call. They don't know the new number. You too, you can't locate their numbers. So everybody is in where they are. Until you move and come close. How many times did I see people enter my family house and say, I changed my phone. Oh. I changed my, that's the excuse. Now we don't have that as an excuse. At least you can locate 50% of your friends. Then you ask them for other people's number. Are we? Yes. Somebody had to think about all of us so that we will come to this point. Are you handling what is entrusted into your hands properly? Jesus Christ says, the one who will be the greatest amongst you must be your servant. Do you get it? The greatest amongst you must be what? Your servant. Somebody must care for you. That's the person who will celebrate. Why? The reason why there is a pastor and that pastor is because that guy, everything that you people have, you can call him and tell him. Irrespective of what he has. As his own problem, irrespective of it. Every other person's problem becomes magnified to him. And he worries about that more than every other thing. Are you following this? Yes. So think about it. What has God entrusted into my hands? Those things are small. They are small. They are small. It's only you. Sometimes look at it. It's even selfish. It's only you, Abby. It's only you and your own circle, your own family, your own friends. God has entrusted something into your hands. That one, you are not taking it carefully. And you are saying, God, I want the word at my feet. A pile of cockroaches will not even be at your feet. They won't even be at your feet. The way you are going. You won't have even stones at your feet. It is you that maybe will be at their feet safe. Maybe. No. Don't let it be me. When I entered Central University, my first year, one of our one credit course, those times, Dr. Mensah had cooked a course for, like something to replace RME in life. So it's called Purpose-Driven Life. PPL. It's a course. One credit. The lecturer gave me D. PPL, me. D. I think the guy was asleep. He was just writing grades for any name that he sees. He said, this guy is a guy. Lady, A. Guy, D. I don't know whether you see that guys, we are boys. So B, D, like Bernard, Derek, things like that. Right? Then A, Abigail, Anna, Agnes, things like that. C, Caroline, Kathleen, things like that. Right? You understand? It sounds good. The A looks like a lady, you see. Amma, Adjoa, Akosia, Efia, Ekia. Anything that looks hard. The letters, the ones that sound hard. Let's give it to this guy. So the guy, he gave me D. And the reason why the D was shocking is that all the people that were sitting around me, they knew that I was in ministry. So that course, they didn't learn. They just said, Olavo, say it to Unche. They were having A. I didn't even teach them all. They had A with the one I taught them. Not all of it. The one I taught them. The one I was able to teach them within the time frame. They had A. I had D. How to reconcile these two statements. It's left for God and the angels to deliberate on it. But this is a course. Purpose-Driven Life. And they gave us a book by Rick Warren. And we had to read it. Then this teacher added another one. Attitude is everything. The guy didn't like to teach, so he just gave us book. Go and read. He will present on it. 20 marks. So we have to come and present on it. The beautiful thing is that I never presented on it. I still have my 20. The teacher is not serious. I never presented. I still have my 20 marks. The funny thing was, people started at a point. He was giving 20 to people. He will just give you 20 when you come and present. He will not mark it like sit down and carefully mark it. When you are speaking and he's touched. 20 over 20, they will clap for you. At a certain point, some people started getting 25 out of 20. Even 30 out of 20. So I knew, this thing a joke. And the class is huge. So I knew going like this, soon those marks will not mean anything. Because we have to merge it with midterms and a few other things. So the way he's giving the marks, 20, then by the time I realize people have 30 out of 20, almost 50% on top of the 100%. What are you talking about? So I knew this thing is a joke. I didn't mind him. You see, but in a nutshell, there was a course like that. That Dr. Benson had cooked for us to study. And then it was about having a purpose and letting it drive your life. Those basic things. Who am I? What am I here for? What am I here for? Are you hearing me? Yes. If you are strengthened, or if you have overcome, strengthen your brethren. It's not just about you. So Jesus is telling Peter, and I'm telling you today, because he told me the same. If you are overcome, strengthen your brethren. See, some of us never overcome. That means our own personal issues, we never handle it well. When Paul was writing to Timothy in 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 7, about how to come up with a leader, he says this man must have his house in control. That means he has overcome already in his house. He has overcome. Then he will strengthen other people. He said, for no man can care for God's house if he has no control over his own. That means you must overcome, right? Before you can strengthen others. Before you can strengthen others. Some of us, we never overcome. That is to say, the one that we're handling, we run away from it. If you see someone who is running away from problems, that guy doesn't know how life is. You don't run away from problems because he who runs from a fight will live to fight another day. That fight, you go fight them. That fight go still hold though. You go fight them. Fight it today. Are you hearing me? Let me show you something about life. The fights you don't fight now, the day you will fight them later, it will be more messier. It will destroy more things than today's own. That's what I've studied about life. I don't need to experience it. I like to learn smart from other people's mistakes. The things you don't fight today, that you see and you run away from, you will fight it another day. That day, the mess, the mileage and the what do you call it? What do you call those people say? Casualties in war. It will be more than today's own. There are things God wants you to solve today. If you solve it today, you will see that going forward, 10 years, you will appreciate it. It's good I take this way. I have solved the problem and everything is fine. No, you will now go ahead. Go and solve it later. There are people who some things were quiet about their life. They kept quiet. They didn't talk. They didn't talk. They didn't solve. I'm not saying go and be talking. I'm saying solve it. Now, they didn't solve it. They just left it. They thought it would naturally take care of itself. Nothing is naturally taking care of itself. They left it. When they became popular, the issue came back. Now they have to solve it in court. Either paying huge sums of amount of money to silence people or whatever. And the news is all over the place and everybody is saying their peace of mind. Those who didn't even know the story are talking. Everybody is just talking. It's because they ran from the fight when they were supposed to fight it. Long time ago. Long time ago, they thought that nature would take care of it. Nature is not carrying your own problems for you. Nature self is figuring out how to make it rain during the time it's supposed to rain. That one self is a big problem for him. Haven't you noticed nowadays it rains and rains past the time it's supposed to rain? Even nature is trying to figure out its problems. You want to carry your own and give it to him. your own small problem, carry it. Everybody is entrusted with their own problem, carry it. Do you understand? Yes. Sometimes you have somebody like a pastor who God picks up and he says, Paul will go on to say, he said, we are the least. The apostles, we are the least of all men. We are the least. He didn't say of the ministers, he said of all men. That is to say, God has made us the least. In the sense that we are almost as though we are nothing. As an apostle, you are nothing. Why? He says that because while we have our own problems, we have to be strong for others. He says that we are struck down. We are struck down, but we are not destroyed. Not because we are not destroyed. Because that pain is not supposed to keep us from doing the work. Because they are also human beings. Don't they wake up? Don't they eat? Don't they have emotional struggles? They do, don't they? But why is it that you feel like all the time they should be able to listen to you? It's because that's what God made them. He made them nobody's for themselves. And everybody has them for themselves. He wrote in the 1 Corinthians, when I said 1 Corinthians, I think verse chapter 3, the last verse, something like that. So the apostles, we are all for your sakes. We are apostles for your sakes. Imagine, they are all for you. All things are yours. The apostles are yours. So God gave you somebody for you. If you can't carry the problem and you also don't talk to the person who God gave to you to help you to come up with solutions, you are not smart. Because that fight, you still fight more. You still what? Fight it. So you better be actively looking for how to solve it now. Because you have the struggle later. Some of us won't fight it, won't solve the problem. It's very small, it's very simple. Now it looks very magnified in your mind. But the truth of the matter is, if you throw it on the table, you realize the pieces that are coming together here is not that much. We can fix something. Now you don't solve it because let me just hide it. Let me not talk about it. Let me just, maybe this will just happen. Nothing will just happen, no. But listen, you won't solve it. You realize that there are other things that you wanted to protect. They don't leave you. See, lately, the way any prestigious person in society, the way they get punished for having done something wrong is that they lose their position or they lose their respect. Have you noticed it? It's what they call cancel culture. When we find out that you have something with you that people don't like, they cancel you. That is to say, they try to take away all the privileges you have from you. Recently, I think, is it Spain? Yes. They won the World Cup. And then their football federation's president or what, I've forgotten who exactly he was. I think he's the president or something. So he kissed one of the ladies on the podium. He was just hugging, they've all won. So he now kissed one of the ladies. That's how social media started screaming. Now he's no longer the president. He's no longer the president. That's all. He's gone. It's what? Gone. Let me show you what I mean by it's messy. Not Lionel Messi, but it's messy. Listen. You see, this battle, the damage is gross. Do you see that? Yes. It was a small thing. Let me show you how he did it. So he kissed the lady on the lips. Now, of course, she didn't kiss the lady, but I mean, nowadays we blow everything out of proportion. We are very interesting people. Of course, he's not supposed to kiss, but I mean, does it cost him his job? No, but pay attention now. So initially they said he should resign. Nowadays that's what people say. Resign. Right? Just resign. Okay, so he should resign. Then he said, no, he's not going to resign about this. Now, but you see, he should have faced the problem still. He should have faced the problem. I'm not saying he should resign. I'm not saying anything, but I'm just saying he should have paid attention to it. He didn't pay attention to it until they started taking him to court. Out of keys. Out of keys. Mongolian keys. It's not out of keys on the lips. He lost his job. Out of keys on the lips. He just lost his job. These are footballers who are sweating and all that. There's nothing emotional about this thing. It's just like he lost his job. That's all. He just lost his job. He just lost his job. He lost it. That's what it is. Messy. He would have won the battle earlier. Do you get what I'm saying? Yes. Most of us don't like it. I will just go and sit down and say, no. Listen. People are coming after you. The devil is coming after you to sift you as wheat. You must learn to overcome. Sometimes it has to do with you being smart to know, no, let me stop this. If I were him, let me give you why I'm saying that. Now, I'm only using it, that came to my mind, so I'm using that example. It's not like I've premeditated it, no. There are many examples I could give, but I just wanted to give you something that got messier, and then it could have been solved. You see, the initial stages of the conversation was resign, right? But that resign is what the public are asking for, not the person. The person was more relaxed, not because he didn't like it, but he was more relaxed. But the more the people spoke outside, the more it gathered momentum. The more the person in question was under pressure to act on behalf of all international feminists. And sometimes I don't know the spirit of the age. Ladies just take pride in men losing their positions. That's why it's just beautiful for them. I don't know what it is. It's kind of interesting. Wow. But just put that aside. Just imagine if it were me, I would have chased the person in question. Do you understand? I would have chased the person in question because whatever moral standard you have in your pocket, it doesn't matter if the person in question says, we are fine. Do you get my point? Yes, it doesn't matter. She could have been my wife as well. Do you get it? Exactly. So I have to chase that person and solve the problem from the root. That's where it started from. I have to solve the problem from the root. But he thought that the people will calm down. Nobody calms down. Nobody calms down. Social media, nobody is calming down. Nobody is calming down. Let me also show you another one that got messy. So I think I mentioned it, 2 weeks ago or something like that. So this is a popular figure. This lady, I know her because I know her mom. Her mom is at my dad's church. I know her. Sarah, I'm here or something. I don't know how they mention her name. Or I'm here. I don't know. So she has a brand, clothing brand. They have some nice dress, pink nice dress. So what came to happen is that she saw a picture of one Ashing Chapel church. And the choristers were wearing the same dress, but they didn't buy it from her. And her dresses are like tagged and all that. So they were wearing, and the whole choir, about 4 people in a picture also, were wearing the same clothes, nicely sewn. Almost the same, just that they didn't put the belt. No, she rather copied from something. So they copied her own, exactly, and they're sewn it nicely. So she now took the picture and dropped it online and now wrote a poem. This is not fair. Somebody's intellectual property. You have stolen it. You have not paid a dime. This, that, this, that. That's how social media has detectives, forensic criminologists, scientists, and all that, who are deep into research, interrogation, and science. They managed to figure out that the cloth was made by another company somewhere. Sewa's company has copied it. So they dropped the picture. Sewa, you should answer to us. This one and your own. It's like you've only removed the belt. So answer to us. Now, forget about the comedic part of it. You see, she could have solved it from the beginning, you see. What did she want to do? She wanted to use disgrace tactics to let them kowtow to what she was trying to get out of them. It backfired. It got messier than before. Do you know what she had to do? Let me show you what she had to do. Number one, her company had to write a whole statement of apology, 2 statements for the public, and then recall all the dresses that they sold under that name. So that means Obi was sharing the 6 months. But she can bring it back and take the money. She can bring it back and take the money because you've sold it under false pretense. That's not the name. It's an original brand. You've stolen it. If the person keeps wearing it, you can be sued by the mother company, the one who actually made it. So you could have solved the problem. You see, Action Chapel, let's get at them. Let's use them as scapegoats. It will help us trend. We trend Action Chapel. A whole Action Chapel has copy our address. At that time, you think that nature will take care of itself. Nature is not taking care of anything. No. Are you hearing what I'm saying? I want you to be smart. There are things you can solve now. You can be smart in the solution of it. You will not. But that fight, you will fight it later. Sometimes it will not be in your favor like that. By the time you are fighting it properly, it won't be in your favor like that. Do you understand? Yes. It will not be in your favor like that. It will not be in your favor like that. Do you get me? Yes. When God told Saul, destroy the Amalekites, utterly destroy them, he kept some of them. He kept some of them. Finish the battle now. He said, oh no, I think let's just accommodate these other guys. God says, finish the battle now. Are you hearing what I'm saying? There are things that are inside your hands. If there are problems with them, solve the problem now. Sit down, solve the problem. Don't be hiding. Don't be hiding behind the wall. It's like all these guys who is always hiding behind things, looking who is passing somewhere. He can't have a normal street life. He's avoiding things. Have you seen people like that? He's walking. Charlie, see whether the guy in the blue shirt, is he standing there? Is he still there? He can't go and face the problem. Always hiding. That problem, you will still fight it. Do you hear what I'm saying? You will still fight it. Whatever problem it is, you will still what? Fight it. I've seen people who had to gather their whole family to go and beg for something that they were being called to come and answer some time ago. They didn't answer till it escalated. Now they have to bring their whole family, their ancestors, those who are buried. They have to bring, they have to bring their corpse. You think I'm joking? They have to pour libation. You think that's not bringing the whole ancestors? They have to bring drinks and Castle Bridge and schnapps and a few other things. And come and be pouring. We beg. We beg. The whole family, all the old people, those who are carrying stick, those who are sitting on wheelchair, those who are sitting in the air, those who are suspending, those who are in palanquins. Everybody were coming to come and beg one man because that's the person who will save this guy's life. He misbehaved. He should have gone to approach and talk because he was being called, come and answer. No, until it became another issue. I have learned in life to approach the problem head on. Because if you don't solve it today, you will still have to solve it too. Sometimes you just feel like they will just forget. It will just become normal. There are people who make things normal. Not everybody. Sometimes not everything can become normal. Do you hear what I'm saying? Some things are there you have to assure people again that will never happen again. So why don't you go and talk? Relationships are handed into your hands. Handle it with care. Are you following this? Handle it with care. Solve the problem. Solve the problem. Those who are selfless, they are the greatest people. Those who think about others first, they are the greatest people. That is why overcome. Then when you are done, strengthen your brethren. Sometimes even the overcoming process is not because you just want to get out of your problems. It's because you want to get down quick so that you can go and help other people. Don't you realize it? Yes. If you have not lived like that before, you are yet to start life. Life is now beckoning on you. There are times where you come to a place where the reason why you have to get up. Sometimes I'm not well in my body, but I have to get up and go and visit someone who is not well. Don't we all need visit? Don't we all need visit? Not be we all be victim. Or your own victim is Pro Max. We are all victims. Why should I come and visit you? It's because something is entrusted into my hands. Do you hear me? Something is entrusted into my hands. Something is entrusted into my hands. As I'm speaking this, my mind is also focusing on things that I know that has been entrusted into my hands. I hope you are also focusing on things like that. So that you don't joke with things. Everything, are you here with me? Money is entrusted to handle it with care. People, children are entrusted into your hands. Handle it with care. Not everybody has children. Some people, in fact, have been duped, super duped by duped, down duped, center duped by people because they want children. Do you understand? You have some. They are a burden to you. God will ask you, I put this in your hands. Where is it? Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes, he will ask you a question. A very clear, blunt question. The children you have, I told you from the beginning, I said that whatever that you have is so that you will be a steward, right? Yes. No parent owns the children. Every parent is a steward. It's a steward. If their children turn out bad, God will ask you still. Still ask you. He'll still ask you. You are a steward. You're a steward. You're a steward. God entrusted those lives into your hands. It may look like it was by true sex. No, it wasn't just true sex. That is why nobody is a mistake. Do you understand? Nobody is a mistake. God never makes mistakes. Are you here with me? He needs you to act so that he can do his action in them. It doesn't matter what time, where. If you are able to overcome, you will strengthen some people. So, but you first have to overcome. When you overcome, you become the great people in life. The greatest people in this life, they are the people who have taken care of other people, who, not by giving them money, but they've solved problems for them. The people we celebrate, even the footballers we celebrate, it's because they live aside of their life for us to be fine. Let me show you something. The footballers, they have a very tight routine. The kind of routine you have, they don't have it. Some of us, when you come to church, they say, no, it's time to pray. And then you're like, why? Is it all prayer? Is our life only prayer? Are we going to pray until we become prayer? Are we going to be prayed, or we are the one praying? Right? Are we going to just be praying? Is that all? Do you understand? The footballers, there are some foods that you can eat, they will never taste until they end their career. Until they stop playing football, which is somewhere around 35, thereabout. The pizza and things that you eat on your birthday, even on their birthday, sometimes they are playing football. Sometimes they are playing football on their birthday. Go and look at the itinerary in the week. They play today. They only play for 90 minutes. It looks like it's a waste of time. Like it's just small, you see. It's so small, 90 minutes. The whole week they can play like twice. So 90 minutes, 2. 2 90 minutes. If all your job is 2 90 minutes, it's cool, right? But that's not all their job. They play for only 2 90 minutes. The preparation for the 2 90 minutes is stranger than the 90 minutes itself. They have warm-up sessions. They are training physio, gym, all manner. And you have to do it. If you don't do it, the coach will tell you are not fit for the match. Then they sit you down. The more you sit down, the more unfit you become. Soon, your account balance will also be unfit. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes. But why are they doing that? So that you will be screaming, ah! Ronaldo! Ronaldo! That stupid shout. Because of that stupid shout. That guy is 38. He's still running because of you. 38. The guy is still running. He's running because of you, because he wants you to scream. 38. He's still not eating pizza. Because of you. Oh. Because of, ask yourself, when they finish chasing the football and enter the pool, like what does it do to them? Or that, like, what's the benefit? It's so that you will clap. So that you will be screaming on top of your voice. That's all. That is why when they finish playing, they will start again. Every year they will start the same thing again. So that you will be entertained. But you know what it takes? All the good things that they make you eat when they finish scoring the goal. You see, when they score the goal, you're excited. You buy beer, you drink and all. That beer, he can't drink. That beer, the one you are drinking because he scored, he can't drink so that he can keep scoring, so that you keep drinking beer. That's the life they live. He can't enjoy it. He can't drink Coke. Because of the repercussions it will bring into his body, he can't drink it. I heard that Ronaldo sits in he does something called ice bath, where he puts cubes in water and he sits in it. It helps the muscles. I said, what kind of training is this one? So that he can play at 38. He has to solve the problem. And he's solving it. You, what are you doing? With your own problem, what are you doing? You're giving excuses. Hey, can't I live now? Am I not a human being? Am I not? Don't I have feelings? What do they have? Thermostats? Eh? Don't I have feelings? Why you see people that don't have anything to fight for? No, nothing to live for. The kind of things they are talking about. You are wondering, what is wrong with this guy? What is wrong with this guy? He will give you reasonable things, but he has not thought about it, how it translates into proper, purposeful life. He has not thought about it. He's just thinking about, he's saying, can't I? Nobody said you can't. Oh. Can't Ronaldo also eat something? Eh? Yes. There are players who ate some things. They didn't live long in the football world. Quickly, they have to go and pack their bags and go and sleep at home and watch other people play. Watch other people play. You, when we ask of you to make sacrifices, solve problems, face your problems head on, no. Those who have become the greatest that you are talking about, they are the people that lived not for themselves. They put sacrifices and work into the thing. And it was not for them. If you ask me, see, apart from him being paid, you see the guy is being paid, though. The payment he is being paid, let me tell you the truth. As at now, he doesn't need to run to get payment. Eh? In fact, 10 years ago, he got money enough that you will never get. Do you understand what I'm saying? Some of them, the monies they have, even presidents will never get. Eh? Presidents, if they steal the whole country's money, they will never get. Some of the monies they have, countries will never get. Countries, the whole country's per capita income. Gross domestic product, if we sell it, we will not get what they have. The whole country's output will not amount to what they have. These people. And they are still running so that you will be cheering on. He can decide today not to run again. He's fine. Why is he running? Do you understand the question? Yes. Why does he keep running? Why does he keep running? So I ask you, if everybody leaves you alone and you are alone standing, will you still stand on that course? Will you still stand? Or you will have a 10-page excuse of why you cannot continue again? Or why you are tired and exhausted? Of why you cannot do it anymore? Daniel 12, verse 3. Daniel 12, verse 3. As I close. Daniel 12. Are you there? Verse 3. Let's read the first statement. 1, 2, go. They that be what? Wise shall shine as the brightness of what? Of the firmament. They that be what? Wise. They that be wise shall shine as the firmament. Brightness of the firmament. Do you see that? And they that, now, he's not talking about two different people here. He's talking about the same person. He's just giving you two statements describing this same kind of person. So the next statement is also describing the wise guy. All right? What does he say in the second statement? So they that turn many to righteousness shall shine as the stars forever and ever. What's the writer talking about? That is to say, in Christianity, the one we call a star, right? In our faith, the one we call a star is the one who has many that have learned the ways of the Lord through them. Many that have been brought to the Lord through them. Many. The Christian life, the greatest in the Christian life. Because we still have greatest. Right now we are all equal. We are all equal, Sha. Your faith like equal. We are all believers. We are all saints before God. We are all children of God and all that. But there are people who God can't do without. There are some people, he himself will say, my son, come to heaven and come and rest. Then there are some people, he said, no, stay there. There's more work to be done. Which one are you? Come to heaven and come and rest, or stay there, there's more work to be done. You cannot be the same. Are you here with me? There are people who God says, if you live there right now, the work would be jeopardized. Please stay there. Stay on it. I need you. There's some revival that needs to start at this other place. CP. I need you to stay. Please stay. Please stay. When you find yourself gladly walking out of the plan of God, I told you the last time, it just goes to tell you, God is saying, I can do without you. It's very dangerous. But it looks cool, you see. He said, I'm not going to church. Pastor is not even calling me. He doesn't even care. No, sometimes God has told the pastor, calm down. I do get that sometimes. Sometimes I want to change and I say, no, calm down. Calm down, wait. I'll see it maybe in 2 weeks why I needed to calm down. 2 weeks, I'll just see that I needed to calm down. This person needs to calm down. But God's work will never go undone. That's also another dangerous thing. God's work will never go undone. So when I have a role to play in it, something has been entrusted into my hands, and I refuse to do it, it will still be done, but the question is, by who? That's the threat to my life. Because by the time someone starts doing it, then it means I'm no longer needed, right? And when I'm no longer needed, that means I never have the opportunity to become a star in the faith. There are stars in the faith, though. That's why we mention names of people. Don't we mention names? Yes. There are names of men of God that we mention up to today. There are stars in the faith. People that have actually brought many to righteousness. They brought nations, some of them brought nations to righteousness. John Wesley has made for many people to be born again. Even though he didn't go everywhere by himself, but by his work. Many. If I come here right now, I'll find somebody who has some ties to some Methodist something. Right now, if I come. That is to say, John Wesley is a star in the faith. What God entrusted into his hands, was he faithful? Yes, he was. Some of them, they were on their own. They still fought. You, when everybody leaves you, will you stand and fight? One of the mighty men of David called Eleazar. The Bible says that he fought till the sword was stuck in his hand. He could not let go. I'm actually waiting to see how that feels. He couldn't release this part of his arms, but his actual arm was working. He was still swinging. But this part couldn't release. It was so firmly gripped. I'm sure blood stopped flowing into it. Blood stopped flowing into it, such that he was holding the knife, but his arms were not being controlled by his brain anymore. This part, the hand part, the fingers, were lacking blood. You know when the blood doesn't go to some part of your body, your brain is not in charge anymore. Exactly. So he's holding on to the knife. This part is not working as it should work, but this part is working. So the guy can swing, but he cannot release the knife. I'm sure after the battle, he was still holding the knife. Even David, he was going to salute David. He nearly cut off David's ear. And his own forehead as well. He was so stuck with the knife. The Bible calls him the mighty man of David. Someone who went into a battle, fought till he and the fight became one. That is to say, he never came to a point where he wanted to back down. Even if he wanted to drop it, his body had become one with the fight. He couldn't drop the sword. And in a fight, wherever you are holding the sword, that means the enemies will still come at you. Battle communication is, if you don't want to fight anymore, you drop your sword. If you can't drop it, we are still fighting. Whether it's epilepsy or whatever it is that is doing you, we don't know. Once you are still holding sword, we are finished. The guy is holding the knife. Will you still fight when you are the only one left? Are you here with me? Yes. Like Samson. When you are the only one left, will you fight? Will you believe in that same cause, or you change your mind? Something is entrusted into your hands before you become that thing that is called the stars. of the earth. Do you see that? The stars. They that turn many to righteousness. Do you have that as a cause? Do you have that as a passion? Do you have that as a desire? Are you sure? Are you sure? Is that what is within you? That's my desire. I want God, use me to the point that many attend to your cause because of me. God, use me. Are you here with me? Just take a minute and pray that. God, use me. Make me a star in your kingdom. I offer my life to you. Everything I've been through, use it for your glory. Use it for your glory. Just use it. Use me till I am a star, till I'm someone in your kingdom that you cannot do without. Use me till I'm someone you cannot do without. Just pray.